and welcome back to Darvanalee Design Studio. For those that don't know, my name's Nicole and today we are here for Tips and Tricks Tuesday. I'm going to show you how to take these two squares and turn them into 8 half square triangles. So let's get started. Well, I am super excited today to show you how to make these half square triangles with only using 2 squares. You are going to need a few things today, and these are the tools that I generally use. Sometimes I don't, it just depends. If you don't have them, it doesn't matter, but it makes it super easy if you've got a rotating mat. Now I've got this one here, it's by Alpha, and I'll leave a link down below where you can find that. You'll also need some general sewing supplies such as pins, a marking pen, rotary cutter, and of course you're going to need some rulers, and you're also going to need an iron and an ironing pad, and of course you're going to need your fabric. Now we're doing half square triangles, so we have a background fabric and we have our printed fabric, and all we're going to do is 4 seams and 4 cuts, and it's going to yield 8 half square triangles. You can find my formula down underneath this video. There'll be a link that'll scoot you over to our website where you can print that off from there. All right, so I'm not going to give any measurements or anything like that because we are just going to be working with squares, and you can find all that information in that printout. So basically I've got my 2 squares of fabric here, I've got a patterned piece, and I've also got a background fabric, which is my white piece. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to flip this over, and we need to grab our ruler, and we're going to mark corner to corner. And then we're also going to mark from the other corner to corner. So once you've done that, we're going to take our fabric and we're going to put them right sides together, aligning up our raw edges. And with some pins, you're going to pin them in place. Now, a lot of people just use 2 pins. I like to have a pin in each corner, in each triangle that I've marked out, because it just means that it's not going to move. And then what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the sewing machine and we're going to stitch on either side of those lines. All right, so we're here at the sewing machine, and now what we're going to do is we're going to stitch either side of this line. Now I just want to talk a little bit about your 1/4 inch foot. Make sure that you've got that on your machine. If you don't have one, there is a little seam guide that you can get, and I'll leave a link down below where you can get this from. I got this one from the Fat Quarter Shot. I'm sure that your local quilt shop will have something very similar, but as you can see, it has all the little holes, so you put your needle down in that and it'll actually help you create your seams and everything like that. But we've got our 1/4 inch foot on here today, so we're going to use that. And basically, as I said, we're going to stitch on either side of that line. So I like to line it up, and you can see there that my line is on the presser foot rather is on that line. So this is where my 1/4 inch is measuring from. So my needle's in the correct position, and I'm going to quickly stitch that down. And we're just going to do that on either side of the line, and then we'll turn it around and we'll do our other way as well. Okay, so we have sewn on either side of the line on both directions. Now we're ready to cut. So grab your rotating mat if you have one. If you don't have one, that's okay too. Now what you need to do, no matter what square you're working with, you need to find the center point. So basically all I'm going to do is measure mine, and I know that I need to cut mine at 4 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to place my ruler on there. Actually might get a smaller ruler, might be a bit easier to use. And I'm going to place the 4 3/4 mark on my raw edge over here, and I can see that my edge of my ruler is going through that junction where the crosses cross each other. Okay, and I'm just making sure that everything is looking nice and even, and I'm also making sure that my ruler is straight by finding a point on my ruler for my top edge and my bottom edge to make sure that that is lining up correctly. All right, so I can see there that I'm okay to cut that, so I'm going to make my first cut. And then I'm going to spin my mat. And then I'm going to find my halfway point again, which will be the same as the one that you just had. There, our first two cuts. Okay, now we have two more cuts to make. So moving your mat again, rotating it, we're going to cut on that line. From one corner to the next, and we'll rotate that again, and then we'll cut from corner to corner. Okay, and then that will be our 4 cuts. So we've sewn 4 seams and we've cut it 4 times, and now we have our half square triangles. So what you want to do at this point is you're going to press them all to the dark side, and then we'll talk a little bit about squaring them up. Now when you're pressing, you do not want to stretch your triangles. You just want to roll them back gently and then press. You don't want to iron or stretch or anything like that. You just want to set that seam and then roll it back and press. Okay, so there are our 8 half square triangles. Now what you want to do when you square them up, so whatever size that you need them to be, you will place one down, and then you're going to take your ruler, and you want to have a ruler that has a 45-degree mark on it. And then all you're going to do is we're going to just take a little bit off this, and you square it up to what your finish size block needs to be. So if you need it to be 2.5 inch squares, like 2.5 inch half square triangles, then you need to square it up to that. And to make sure that you're not taking too much off one side or one on the other from the other, what I like to do is I lay my 45-degree angle on my seam, and then I will take a little bit off this side and a little bit off this side, and then I will turn it, and then I will lay that down on my seam again, and let's say that I need mine to be at 4 1/4, so I'm lining up my 4 1/4 on this edge here and my 4 1/4 on this edge here, because I know that they are straight because I just cut them, and my 45-degree is on my seam, and now I can take a little bit off. And there I've only taken just a little bit of a smidgen off, and I've got a perfect 4 1/4 half square triangle. So you'll repeat that for all the rest of your half square triangles, and then that is how easy and simple it is to make all of these half square triangles from 2 squares. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I do appreciate you being here. If you like this video of taking 2 simple squares and turning them into 8 half square triangles, make sure that you hit that like button now. And if you've not yet subscribed, make sure that you hit that subscribe button too, and the little bell icon to all notifications, and then that way you're not going to miss out on any tips and tricks that I put up in the future. But that is it from me today. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I hope that you get lots of crafting in and you get lots of half square triangles done today for your next quilt. But as I said, that's it from me today. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all again next time. Bye for now.